Welcome to Chanakya Steno, 100 WPM, 3 seconds to start. Start. Education theories and approaches employed in various domains bring up valuable menace on links, establishable student motivation and aspects like achievement and retention. Stop. There are useful insights to tap from how the process of education is implemented in the workplace and non-formal environment. Stop. What has to be taken into cognizance here is the fact that workplace sites have proved to be conducive areas for learning, where the focus on the links between variables like motivation involvement has yielded much achievement and retention. Stop. The conscious development of the formal and informal learning fronts in workplace sites have culminated from the management decisiveness on the paradigms of workplace learners' effectiveness and efficiency. Stop. The development has come from the frameworks within which decisions are taken regarding the factors of how the learning process is organized within an organization and also how learners are managed about motivation theories and success conceptual methods. Stop. Various scholars as well as other researchers have concurred that the integration of various instrumental motivational factors such as economic and commercial factors which have had a significant bearing on the establishment of the broad parameters in which opportunities and obstacles to the effectual existence of workplace learning obtain as variables that can held as motivators or demotivators to the learning endeavor. Stop. Para change. Research outcomes of probes and inquiries seeking to validate the notions that motivation is an inalienable link to the objectives of success in various learning environs have led to positions that expansive rather than restrictive environments are perceived to be pro-learning at work as well as the convergence of personal and organizational development. Stop. Para change. Researches into various workplace domain dynamics have culminated in the establishment of a theoretical framework that seeks to explain and contextualize the dynamics around which how new learners in various learning precincts acquire knowledge and skills that empower them to tackle the challenges posed by their academic challenges and later on career compositions. Stop. Para change. The dimension of newcomer learner has been realized with valuable contributions from Lava and Wenger, who developed the interlinked tenets of legitimate peripheral participation as well as communities of practice to explain how workplace newcomers bracket start the valid peripheral partakers bracket close develop to full participant status in a defined community of practice. Stop. The newcomers are perceived to embrace learning as a collective relational process that entails the cooperation of the novice with the more experienced personnel. Stop. Inverted comma. In our perspective, the acquisition of knowledge is not merely situated in practice like it was some independently definable process that just occurred to be situated somewhere. The acquisition of knowledge is an integral part of generative social practice in the lived in world. Stop para change. Lava and Wenger view the situated learning theory as an essential thrust for those areas tied to social practice, as well as that it has contributions to attempts at surmounting what has been called by theorists Angerstrom (1991) as the encapsulation of a school of learning. Stop much interest that has been culminated from the forerunning frameworks and ideas on apprenticeship and education has been directed to the non-formal or structured learning environs. Stop. The interest has to lead many scholars to invest in researches on the motivational dynamics in non-formal environments like workplace learning. Stop para change. Expensive learning has is enunciated in Angstrom's model of expensive learning. Stop. The thrust of the theoretical framework is aimed at fostering significant changes at educational, institutional, and organizational levels of entities. Stop. The object of expensive learning is knowledge impartation process in which the learners are involved. Stop. According to scholars, expensive learning activities generate culturally new trends of activity. Stop. Further, expensive learning at particularly generates new forms of work activity. Stop para change. Based on the framework of the expensive learning models, Angstrom's devised an intervention stratagem aimed at enhancing efforts to accomplish educational organizational changes. Stop. The contributions of the scholar have helped in the explorations of the surmised and existent relationship across the variables or factors of learning environment, quality of learning as well as the similar and different dynamics between group learning and individual learning. Stop. The works have also been valuable in the evaluation of the approaches they directed at the implementation of staff development and various diverse learning programs. Stop para change. Fuller and Unwin Opkit have stated that the expensive approach brings with it valuable insights into the domains of education. Stop. The works of Fuller and Unwin Optic have helped unveil the features of the different learning environments. Stop. The insights presented by the scholars recognize two fundamental categories of the expensive as well as a restrictive feature. The ones that come from comprehension about organizational context and culture for instance, academic work organization, curriculum design, control and the distribution of knowledge and skills, and those tied to comprehensions of how students acquire knowledge through exposure in various participatory activities. Stop para change. The scholars leverage the conceptual aspect of the expensive learning model to outline that workplace individual development and organizational development will be based on the understanding of the relationship between the character and composition of an individual learning territory and how they relate to it. Stop. The scholars state that the understanding impacts how the learner will perceive and engage with the opportunities and barriers encountered in learning at work. Stop. The expensive and restrictive continuum thus lays a formidable framework for the assessment of varying learning domains. Stop. The situated learning theory is closely tied to this conceptual paradigm. Stop. The theory holds at its core that learning as participation equates to the degree and worth of the given opportunities to participate. Stop para change. Expensive features entail the exposure of personnel to available opportunities as they get to be involved in various groups of practice and acquire broad and deep knowledge across organizational domains. Stop. The process also enlists the pursuit of knowledge-based and competence-oriented qualifications. Stop. The contributions of Fuller and Unwin have shed light on the features of the restrictive expansive continuum, which include of the practice and on the practice participatory learning activities for the learners who must strive to build recognized status or as a dynamic learner privileged with access to career advancement and diversified job responsibilities. Stop. In other terms, the scholars perceive the significance of tapping hands-on learning opportunities for the learner as constituents of personal branding. Stop. Restrictive features are viewed as those aspects that stand off the flip side of the foregoing. Stop. Over.